able to just, I was able
Okay.
to make files and organize everything and look at what, so I can figure out what's there. Because I noticed when you were talking on the last couple of times when there were questions about information, you're like, it's in the, I sent it. I'm like, okay, he sent a bunch of stuff. We don't know what you sent because it's so much, and we have to like parse through it and figure out, what we need when, that sort of thing. So I was able to look through it a lot better, looking at it on my computer. And there's a home health business setup, startup guide that is pretty cool. That's kind of like thrown in there along with everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you mentioned that. I'm like, that should have been like something I looked at from the beginning because, it's like, so I was like, I need to talk to Alan and figure out step by step like what I need to do now, because there are certain things that, like I said, initially when I started talking to you, it was about home care, and I was like, okay, well, this is not what I'm trying to do. But now that I'm like, okay, I need to do both of these, because really the home care piece is vital, to being able to service the clients the way I need to. And if I'm trying to just depend on other agencies, and I'm at their mercy, I don't know who they're going to send me. I don't have any control over, you know, much of anything, So I'm looking over all of the things and I'm like, okay, yeah, home care, I need to do this, but what do I do now to get started? And so all of the background or the foundation work of setting up the company and, getting the bank accounts and starting that sort of thing. I've done that because I'm going to use the same, and this is something I can ask you if you, like what you think about it. I mean, I think I'm going to do it anyway, regardless of what you say, because I feel like it just seems like it's going to be too much trouble to try to do it a different way. I feel like even if it's better to do it differently now, I figure when we go, I can circle back and have an attorney make it like tighten it up. Because what I'm doing is I want it to be like an umbrella company that has the RALs, but then underneath that, well, an umbrella company, and underneath that company, I have the RAL business, but I also want to have the home care business, and I want to use the same name, but just tack on home care, and then for the other one, just tacking on RAL. So
Yeah, that's not a problem.
okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
that's not a
thinking,
problem.
okay, cool. So I'm like, I don't know, and then even okay, so yeah, so that's the part. Hey, Winston, I see you're there. I want to just keep talking when he walked in.
No, I see
How's
you.
it
Yeah.
going?
Hey, Winston,
Hey,
how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good.
so yeah, I was just talking to Alan about my week and just how now I'm getting on the same page as you, Winston, and doing the home care and trying to live my life like Alan and have both of them, home care and assisted living homes. Um, so
That's awesome.
I'm trying to look back and see what all the things that you and Alan were talking about and things that you've already done. So like with my website, I, I need to make a separate page for RAL, a separate page for home care, um, but kind of still putting it all under the same umbrella. So I got to figure that out. But yeah, I downloaded the application for Illinois. And one thing I wanted to ask is, like, I really don't have a good handle on what all the different uh, titles are, the different multiple licenses. So it says that I can use this one application to apply for home health, home services, home nursing, or placement agencies. And of course, there are different fees that apply to which ones you want to apply to. If you want to apply to all of them, then, of course, you just pay the fee for all of them. But I don't, based on what you know about what I'm trying to do, Alan, which license should I be trying to apply for?
Um, which one besides the assisted living? Which other one are you trying to? Which other one does it say just for home, like home health care or home care?
It
I
just says
don't.
home health,
Uh-huh.
because this isn't the application for the RAL. This is
Yeah.
just for, yes, so it says home health, home services, home nursing, and or placements. I don't really know.
So you would
I'm
just
kind
have
of
to read the definitions to each one of those. So like, what are the definitions to
okay.
home services versus home health?
Okay. I'll go in and just really read it. I guess part of what I don't understand too is like my goal with the home care is to staff my RALs. I plan to have so many RALs that it's going to be make no sense to be hiring another outside agency to staff them. I want to be able to staff them myself. But in the interim, before I'm big like that, I'll use my agency to staff my 1, 2, or 3 homes. But I also want to, like you mentioned, even if you don't have a bed for a person, or if I don't have someone, to some place to hire, if I can't hire these care providers in my homes, I need to be able to source them out. So I guess I don't really know, like when we talked about where these care providers where they work. I mean, like with my mom, we've interviewed home care providers and different agencies. So would it be individuals who need them and or agencies who, I mean, don't agencies hire their own people? They don't go to other agencies for
So you saying like
providers.
where would you your home
Yeah,
care for your home care service? Where would you
right. I mean,
your caregivers
right.
would mostly work with private clients.
Okay.
They mostly be working with private clients or um but you'll be surprised how many assisted livings do outsource that. Um
Oh,
or
really?
assisted livings that don't have enough service, enough care, and families within that facility are allowed to hire more. So a lot of the bigger facilities, they don't have the families aren't the residents may need more care than what the facility is offering. So believe it
Oh,
or not, they'll be in a facility, paying the facility, but then still have to get more care. So,
Yes. Can I
huh?
jump in real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this week, what I was doing was actually reaching out to nursing homes and facilities, rehabs, senior centers, and I met with a director who says the home health aid um, business, she actually need more help because a lot of the people who come to try to get admitted to the facilities have to go on a waiting list. So that's another way where we can provide services to those on the waiting list who can get admitted because there isn't enough staff. Then
oh,
they can refer them to us,
okay. That makes sense.
and a lot of them do outsource um, caregivers. And so I spoke to a lady. She says she's interested in our service. She's gonna try us out first, and if we do well, then we can probably go into a contract. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
And that was
Wow.
where? That was a facility. What kind of facility was that?
it was
Rehab?
no, it was a nursing home.
Oh, okay. Awesome. That's a good start, man.
Yeah. So
That's a
so
really
far
good start.
I've spoken to about 18 different facilities with nursing homes, rehab, disability centers, as well as
Hmm.
doctors. So
Awesome. Yeah,
I've
you
been
off
trying
to
to,
a good start, man. That's what it takes, man. You start building those relationships.
I got so nervous, man. Like the first week, I got so nervous just going out to people, Um, and I basically, from reading the first book, the Eat Myth Revisited, and how
Hmm.
he spoke about wearing the blue suit, brown shoes, red tie. So now that's my uniform. I wear that everywhere I go, man. For real, got me a
Oh,
pair of
that's
brown
awesome.
shoes, red tie. I mean, yeah, everywhere. It's like once you see a blue suit and a black guy, it's Winston coming your way.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. So yeah, and I mean, that's really awesome because I deal with so many people, man, like as far as the students coaching stuff. And I've been doing it for a long time. And I don't have as much success stories as I wish I did because people get the information, but they don't take action. So like hearing you say that is just like really, it's really refreshing because it's easy to set up a website. It's easy to,
Oh yeah,
go register your business, go set up these business accounts or, get your LLC, come up with names, make pretty logos. But you're not in business until you engage in the world, right?
exactly.
Until you start to like pick up that phone and then walk into these facilities, you're not really doing anything. You're not making any progress. Um, and he kind of touches on that in the 10x rule. I don't know if you got to that yet, the Grant
Yep.
Cardone 10x book, but the biggest problem that we face as small businesses is he says obscurity, meaning
It's
that
true.
nobody knows who we are. Because we have everything that we need to do the business. We have all the information. We know we have a pretty good understanding of what needs to be done. We understand the numbers for the most part. We know how to get caregivers. But until we can actually close a client and get out into the community and make people aware of us, we just spinning our wheels, man. And I mean, what? This is the fourth week of the class, and you already talking to people.
Oh
That's
yeah, I
awesome. Like,
mean, like
and you know what I mean? That's
I've been
great.
busting my ass, man. I even went to a senior, 55 plus senior communities. I have to meet up with a lady tomorrow. She wasn't there when I spoke to her, but I have her name and number.
Hmm.
So I got to follow up, and I have my flyers, and she says she's gonna pass out, my flyers to, you know, the communities, the
And that's
residents
awesome, man.
in that
And
community. So yeah,
and see, and this is where we talk about meaningful relationship development, right? You're making contact with these people. You're on the phone with them, you're meeting them in person, and now you follow up. And then
yeah,
you
and
follow up again. You don't
w-
get on their nerves, but you wait a couple
exactly,
weeks and you follow up. Hey, how you doing? This is Winston. You follow up. I
yeah, and
mean,
my
6 months
strategy,
they're friends.
that's true. And one of my strategy is that don't call too much. Like even one of the lady who I met with yesterday who said, she could try and try us out, and if everything goes well, and she's like, here's my business card. Why don't you call me? And I told her strictly, I said, I like to be personable, so rather than call you, I'll see you next week.
Yeah, awesome, awesome.
Just straight up.
And she gonna know how she gonna be able to
Oh yeah,
separate the people who serious versus the people who not.
and
And
yeah,
that's what makes all the difference, man. Based on the survey that you're looking at here, they say the people do usually do business with are the people that they last seen, and the people that they like the most. And that's
and
it. Like if you're the
yep.
person that they last saw, and you're the person that's nice, and have a good relationship, you get the business.
Yeah, what I was most surprised with is how they're willing to help. Like the lady who I met yesterday, and she was even telling me how one of her friends started the same business, and if I want, she can even give me her friend contacts. If I have any questions, I can go and ask them. So I was like, wow,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, I
they're so willing
mean
to
that's
help.
that's awesome, man. And it just takes that one step. You know what I mean? Taking that one step out of your comfort zone. Like you said, you was nervous, but you went anyway. And that's
Oh,
it. It's always on the other side of that uncomfort, that nervousness, that fear. It's always on the other side of that. It's not before the fear.
yep,
So nothing is going to happen before the fear. You got to get in that really uncomfortable space, go through it, and then it's like you get to the promised land. And it's crazy. It's like we hear that our whole lives, movies and quotes, memes,
yeah,
but we don't really appreciate it until we
yeah.
do it. So
Even
yeah, man, I really want to
last
congratulate
week,
you on that, man. On a great week.
thanks, man. Last week, I went to my first BNI meeting.
Hmm.
It was 7:30 a.m. So early, man. But I still put on my blue suit, my red tie, my brown shoes, and I got in there, man. Networking. I even met a lady who's she does Medicaid insurance for
Oh,
seniors,
okay.
and she says in the next 6 months, she's gonna have close to I think 600 seniors coming to register for Medicaid. I'm sorry, not in the next month, because she says it's open enrollment.
Oh, yep, 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 yep. And
So
yeah, for insurance.
she took my business card, and I gave her some flyers, and she said she's gonna try to help me out. And since she works with elderly who's trying to sign up for Medicaid, hopefully that could be another connection right there. And I'm gonna meet up with her again tomorrow because she invited me to the next BNI meeting. So I'll be there tomorrow. Trying to do more networking.
Absolutely. That's awesome, man. And you was asking a question about that.
Yes,
So, when it comes to Medicaid, we got to get your state's application and see what the
yeah,
process is. Because some states require like a seasoning process, like you have to be in business for a certain amount of time.
oh
So we
really?
just have to see what Connecticut, you in Connecticut, right?
Yes, yes.
We just have to pull an application to see what Connecticut's requirements are.
Yeah, the reason why I even brought that up yesterday when I text you is because I went to the one of the local city senior centers, and I met with two of the directors. Nice older ladies, and they were saying a lot of their clients are on Medicaid, and they may not be able to, do private pay. So she says, if I provide Medicaid, then that could be, another chances of me getting more clients.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah,
And
each state is different. So each state pays different. So
mhm,
Maryland didn't pay. I don't know what they pay now because I never did it. I never went through Medicaid. They did it because they never paid enough.
oh really?
They paid below our minimum, so I
Hmm.
never saw it as an opportunity for me. So um, that's why I never really messed with it. I always just dealt with private pay and people with long term care insurance.
What about insurance contracts?
Yeah, like what you mean, like long,
Like
like direct, like with insurance, families
yeah,
with insurance. Yeah, that's what I mean.
or even with like insurance agencies, like, and if they have anyone that they know need in-home care, they'll
I've never
contact you.
worked directly with an agency. How I
Okay,
usually do it. See, my marketing is always directly straight at the families.
got it.
For the most part, like the facilities and stuff like that. Like I've never went to like an insurance agency. I know it's like certain things they can and can't do. So I've
Yeah,
never like went to an insurance company and be like, hey, look, I got, I'm doing
yeah.
home care. Do you have any clients that, have home, need senior care? I never did that with a insurance company. And it's even tricky like that with doctors' offices. So it's like certain things you could do and certain things you can't do. So like for businesses, say like if you go to like a day spa, you can say,
Yeah,
okay, well, I'll give you a referral fee. But if you go to a doctor's office, you can't say that. You
yeah,
can't be like, oh, I'll give you a referral fee if you send me clients. They just gonna do it on the strength.
yeah.
You can't pay. So in different situations, there's different kind of like protocol. But
Hmm.
as far as insurance companies, I've never went directly to an insurance company and asked them for leads. But when we get the clients in, majority of the clients that the majority of the leads we get, they have insurance. Most people that we market into, because we market in specific communities, they already have insurance that's going to pay for home care, which is called long-term care insurance. So that's who we target.
All right.
So we've
I
been
don't
lucky
know.
enough not to need
Yeah.
home
Uh,
Medicaid,
I don't know much about long-term home insurance, so I think it's
long-term
something.
care. Yeah.
Yeah, long-term care is something I have to look into and see what that is.
I have a question real quick, I guess for Winston and Alan. You all, well, Alan, the way you've been teaching us, it's like we're doing both, where we can make the contacts for the people who are going to need our services, and then you make the contacts with people who are going to provide the services. So um, you're putting out feelers for both, but like, how do you manage what you put more emphasis towards? I mean, do you want to have the client and not have the care provider, or do you want to have the care provider and not have the space for them to work? I mean, not have the job for them? What?
Yeah, you're doing it simultaneously. I don't know if you was listening or you heard, but when we were discussing that last a week or two ago, or I don't know if me and Winston might have been on the phone, just me and him, but we were talking about Indeed.
Yes, yes. I
And
I listened to your
okay,
recording.
so basically, you're going to always have more caregivers than clients. You know what I mean? I mean, naturally, but but you don't want to. Every caregiver is not going to fit every client. So, say for example, you got 10 caregivers that want to just ready to work on in your database. They ready to go. You got all their paperwork. They admit the interviews, the background checks, everything. Now, a client comes up. None of them might can work that shift. They don't got this. They too far. They don't have. It's outside the time frame. So I'm saying that to say you want to have as many caregivers in your database as possible, and you always want to be putting out at what we could say ads for applications or like ads for job application, for they
Mm-hmm.
like Indeed ads,
Right.
job ads. So you never want to turn that off. You
Okay.
post like I have ads been running, I'm running constantly. I have thousands of caregivers in my database. So when I get a client now, once we get a client or a new client is ready to start, if I don't know somebody or have like an idea of somebody exactly I want to put there because it fits their criteria or it's close to where I know somebody may live or something like that. I can just send out a text message and then it hit all of them. all 1,000 of them, it's over 1,000, like, look, we got this case and such, and then I'll get 10, 10, 20, 30 responses. Hey, I want that. I'm interested. Da, 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 da. Opposed to waiting for waiting for the client to come. I get a client, somebody says, hey, I'm looking for service. You go do the consultation, you sign them up, you get them on the contract, they tell you the shift that they need, and then you go look for the caregiver. You see what I mean?
Right. Right.
You
Alan,
definitely don't want to be in that situation because most families are expecting you to have somebody, they want a caregiver that day. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
By the time they
Right.
call you.
Right.
So we always say give us at least 7 to 10 business days first before we can find somebody that's a great fit. We just don't want to rush and throw somebody in here. We got all your information, we got your criteria. We want to make sure that we pair your parents or your loved ones with the right caregiver. So that gives us time to find somebody who could fit, somebody who could actually get there, stuff like that. So you always want to have that data, be building that database. And the way that works is you don't just it's not like, okay, I know a lot of people are concerned about, like, I don't have to work for them. I don't have to work for them. So how am I hiring? They understand that. Caregivers understand that they're just registered. It's basically they're registering with the agency so that
Okay.
when work comes up, they'll get a
Right.
call.
Right.
So you're hiring, you're getting the information, I won't necessarily say you're hiring them, but you're making yourself aware of them. They're a part of your database. And then you get all the information, and 9 times 10, if I don't really have no work for them, I'm not running their background checks and all that until I actually need them. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
because then, I'll be, like I said, like I was talking about in the previous training when we were talking about Indeed, you get 30 people to respond, that's 30 background checks you run, and you don't got net client, you ain't made net dollar.
Right.
So you don't want to do that until you actually need them. But like I said, you have this database, and then when you do have a client that's ready, then you have people that you can reach out to. So yeah, I know I just went all the way around the barn,
No, no,
but
that was great. Thanks. I
I just
appreciate
wanted to make it clear to why you want to always have a lot, like 20 to 1 caregivers to leads that you have coming in, and then caregivers is fickle, man. And just be honest, they like some of the worst employees you can find too. I mean, you got some good ones, but it's really hard to find good ones.
it. Okay.
It's really hard to find good ones. Like I was just trying to fill a case, last week, one of my old clients that came back. And we love this, when old clients come back and, they
Mm-hmm.
just, I mean, they're getting older, everybody's, I ain't not to be, they're getting older. So
Right.
she's, she needs more hours. So she didn't need us for a while, or they couldn't afford us. And it's like, they think they can't afford us until they, then they can't live without you. Then it's blank check, right?
Right.
They're willing to pay anything. So they couldn't afford us. So that's what they said. They just didn't want to pay it. They figured out they could figure it out on their own. Mom declined. Now they back with a lot more, with a full-time schedule. And I was having trouble filling it because she lives in a really high-end area, and none of the caregivers live close by her. So it was like it was gonna be kind of hard because the community she lived in was really up. It was a really high-end, upper middle class community, and all
Mm-hmm.
of my caregivers didn't live particularly close. But so I sent like two. We had 2 caregivers go. The first girl, they really connected really well with her name is Goldie. They really did the client name is Goldie, or the patient, the lady who we take care of. The client is her daughter. But they did really well the first couple days, but then she didn't want to go back. Well, I don't know. Okay, whatever. You don't want to go back. She was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Another lady went. Uh, I don't know what her deal was. She wasn't all that excited. They didn't really bond. Her and Goldie didn't really, uh, they weren't really a great fit. And then
Mm-hmm.
recently, Friday, no month, yeah, Friday, no, Saturday, we went. They did a consultation. The caregiver, my caregiver, my nurse, and the client did a meet and greet. So they were, and it was a really great meet and greet. The family fell in love with the caregiver. Caregiver was like in her 50s, right? The other ones were like 30 something, you know.
Mhm.
I try not to get them in their 20. You can't say that, you know, because it's discrimination. But I really don't like them. You know, I don't like hiring caregivers because I really just feel like it's a job for someone who has a lot of, you know, has patience and
Mhm.
some level of maturity and not
Mhm.
so distracted with their phone. Um, 50 and up, you usually women 50 and up, caregivers 50, they're not tripping on their phone like that. You know,
Mhm.
they're more, you know, in the present. So
Mhm.
she talks to her, you know, she's 50. Now she go to 80 something, but they not that far apart. You feel me? Whereas though like a 30 and an 80, they can't really got nothing to talk about. But a
Mhm.
50 something and an 80 something. So I'm saying that to say, like, you know, finding that good caregiver, it might take some time. You know, you might have to go through a few. And then also you want to continuously looking for these, again, going back to the study here, where he talks about that's what I was gonna kind of briefly cover today was some of the content from this study. This is an older one, so I don't feel too bad about sharing it. But because I wouldn't share the 2023 one.
Alan, I have one question.
Go ahead.
What app do you use to send mass text?
We can do a couple of different things, but the software that we use has it. Access Care, you know, the actual home care
Oh,
software that we
really?
use.
Okay.
Yeah. You can do it through there. But you could do it through other stuff too, like
Is that
Call Fire.
say it
Mm.
again?
He was asking about for the mass text.
Right, but what did you just like? Something fire?
Oh, Call Fire.
Oh, fire. Okay.
Uh-huh. But going through your once you get to that point, I mean, you sending thousands. I'm not. It's not just sending like a few. Because if you just sending like 20, you can do that manually. You know what I mean? You can just
Yeah.
do that with your hands. But if you spend like a lot, you know, that's a you know, you want to get it automated.
What
Um,
software do you use for your like when you said you have thousands of
Access Care.
for the caregivers?
Access Care.
Okay. Okay.
Access Care, yeah. So but yeah, you want to always try to find a make sure you got a decent amount of caregivers. And then you know, you want to take your time placing them, but also you want to make sure that they're mature and you know, stick to the ones that's gonna work for you. But other than that, let's look here. I don't know how I just got off that page. Okay. These are some of the associations. Hold on. That I know Winston was asking about here. These are some of the membership associations that you can look into. Most of them are national. Home Care Association of America, State Home Care Association, uh, the ACAOA state chapter members, National Association of Home Care and Hospice, Private Duty Home Care Association, Aging Life Care Association. These are just different organizations that discuss and advocate for home care and home health care in the industry. And then you go to the others mentioned on the side here, on your right hand side. You just kind of look at them. And you kind of what you could do is you could Google them, check them out. I'm not saying go register for all of them because most of them have membership fees and stuff like that. But you could just go definitely check them out, get on their mailing list. You can get on their mailing list for like a newsletter or something without having to pay and just see what they're about. And they'll be constantly giving you more updated information about what's going on in the industry. They're here because they participated in a survey, but I'm just telling you that you can use these people to you know, get some industry information. So these are just the people who participated in this study. So franchise owned and operated, independently owned and operated, part of a home care Medicaid certified business, part of a large hospital system. So what I want to do is show y'all some of the data, historical master participated graphics. Okay. So sales and marketing, this is good stuff here. Top 20 marketing sources overall. So if you look at it, if you see industry 2020. It comes out in 2022. The information comes in 2020. Clients are the number one resource for sales for sales overall. That is clients being your top referral sources. That's what that's saying. The next thing, this was in 2020, so it's definitely 2023, is the internet. Search engine optimization. Consumers can find you online. Very important. You want to have this stuff going on your website. You want to have your website being optimized through search engine optimization. Search engine optimization. I have somebody that you guys can work with if whenever you're ready for that. Caregivers and employees. For me, I've early on, maybe I got a caregiver possibly giving me a lead. I don't even maybe remember, but this being the top 3, I don't know why. You know what I mean? I've never had a caregiver give me a lead. Most caregivers, if they find a client on their own, like personally, they just find a client, you would hope that they would. They're gonna try to work it themselves or something like that, especially nowadays, because everybody, want to be an entrepreneur. But that being the case, I don't understand that. But these are coming from the top. So okay, let me say this. This study is, is a survey based on the top home care services in the country. So obviously it's working for somebody. The fourth one being healthcare professionals, assisted living facilities, home health agencies, Medicaid certified, then hospices, hospital discharge planners, and then again we get back to Google Ads, pay-per-click, corporate website leads. That's for like franchises. Then they go into government, state Medicaid waiver programs, healthcare professionals against skilled nursing facilities, Facebook, internet, Facebook, government, like area agent or agent case managers. So like we got the Department of Agent that you could register with. So that's something like that, and I'm sure every state got like a department which you could register with. A place for mom internet site leads. Now they got a few of them like care.com, a place for mom that you could register with. I haven't had any success there. I probably need to revisit it. But I have dealt with people who have got clients there, more so assisted living stuff than home care stuff. Independent living facilities, VA, internet lead sites again like Karen.com, rehab facilities.
You guys still there?
Yeah, I think he went to put his dog away.
Okay. I sent you a friend request, by the way.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, cool. I don't even use that Facebook page, so that's why I'm always late, because I always like forget my password, because I better use that account. So which state are you in?
Illinois.
Okay, cool. How's it out there?
It snowed today. It's crazy.
It snowed?
Yes, it was
Wow.
warm. It was warm last week, like in the 70s and 80s. And
Yeah.
now it's snowing. It's like, what is happening?
Oh my God. Yeah, we haven't had any snow here, but since October, I've had to start using my fireplace in my house, so
Oh,
So yeah, I'm
wow.
sorry about that.
it's getting chilly. It's cool, man.
So yeah, these are like some of the top overall marketing sources for 2020. This is very important stuff. I hope you guys are listening to this, paying attention. But I'm gonna post the recording up as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Top marketing. What is this? Top marketing source masters. Masters represent those providers who build. Also, he considers masters the people who made over $5 million annually. What they're saying they got their top clients from obviously is clients, past, currents, just referrals, hospital discharge planners, internet caregiver. I hear this in caregiver, but they put caregiver / employees. And maybe this comes from offering some type of incentive program for the caregivers or the employees to bring leads, like paying referral fees. Healthcare professionals, again, assisted living, state Medicaid waiver, government area agents, Google Ads, skilled nurse facilities, and other marketing sources. Mean they didn't want to tell, or they didn't say, or others mean competitors, corporate, employee, neighborhood, franchise offices. It's okay. What this is telling me, what this told me, what I continue to, because this is usually this is consistent every year. I get it every year. Like I said, I didn't want to. They don't want me to do this. The home care benchmarks, the people who own this, they don't like me talking about it publicly. So I do like on these private groups and stuff. But this is, you have to pay for this. So what I do with this when I get it is, and I suggest it's something that you guys get as well. It comes out every year. I look at like what makes sense to me. What can I do? Okay, when I look at clients, I'm gonna say, okay, well, how can I re-engage my clients? Different ways for me to re-engage my clients to get them to send me leads. One of the things that I've learned through the Sandler sales training is that you want to try to turn each client that you have into what they call like a sales tree that plants that has like branches to other clients, other potential clients. So how do you do that? You try to ask your client to give you at least 5 people that they know who may need service or will eventually need your services. And you don't want to press them, but you want to be consistent. Say for example, and you don't want to do it as soon as they become your client. Like you sign them up, they do 1 week of service. Next thing you know, you're trying to get referrals. No, it don't work like that. So after they've been a client for a while, I would say, 2 or 3 months of good service, no complaints, nothing like that. And you want to do it before you start getting some complaints. Why they still in your good graces? You stay, because caregivers, man, it's just caregivers. Usually, what happens, man, when you get bad reviews or stuff like that, it's more than anything, caregivers being late or not showing up on time, or like calling out last minute or not showing up at all. It's usually that what you deal with. But for example, when it comes to clients, we're going to say each client, if I got 5 clients, I'm trying to get at least 5 leads from each client. That gives me 25 more potential clients, right? Mm-hmm. And that's it. So how do we do that? We present the clients with different things. Hey, we just doing a survey, seeing, like checking up on you, making sure everything is okay. Blah, 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 blah. Are you happy with your services? Or you have any complaints, anything like that? How can we make it better? Boom. Okay, now great. You love us, you like us, you want to continue the service. Do you have 5 people? And not just saying do you know anybody who need help? You got to be specific when you ask for this stuff. Like, do you know 5 people who would need services, within the next, 6 to 8, 6 to 12 months? Do you think that you know anybody? And you have to answer me now. I could call you back, or you can send me a list later, and I'll follow up with an email just to see if you have it. It's always good to follow up with an email because they can just type the information back. They can, instead of them trying to figure it out, looking at their phone and all that stuff while they're on the phone with you, you can send it as an email in general. You let them know you're going to send it. Call them and let them know you're going to send an email. And give them the opportunity to respond back with those 5 clients. I mean, those 5 potential leads. So definitely when it says clients, as the top source for new home care clients, I can totally agree with that. Because there's one thing, I don't know if you ever had like a service that you're really excited about. It's like you want to tell everybody about it, at least everybody you care about, right? You be like, hey, look, man, if you're going to get your oil change, man, go over here, man. They got good service. It's going to be priced, going to be good. Like you really want to share that. If you're getting some service done to you and you become almost like their salesperson, because people like to be right. So you might somebody might get into a debate about your client about your service for you they don't even work for you. They be like, oh no, my service, the people I work with, they be just like so proud of the people that they work with, which is you. So to get them out there almost, not broadcasting, but like but like, working for you almost, just beating the payment, telling people about your services, you'll be really you really get a good response like that. And because of that, the people who come when they call, they're already almost like halfway sold. So the work is the client has done a lot of the uphill stuff for you. So it's just like you just gotta close it and get to it. Because the client has been so, oh man, they said they're so great, mom is so happy, this and that. They've closed them for you for the most part. And like we talk about here, discharge planners like hospital, discharge planners, assisted livings, area agent, case managers, state Medicaid waiver programs. This stuff here, skilled nursing facility. This stuff here is what Winston has already just shared with us this today, right? He's already shown us the potential that comes from this stuff. So obviously, it's taking what you get from this is having somebody in the field. We have I have a couple what we call community liaisons who do this stuff on a weekly basis, going out into the community, networking, shaking hands, setting up programming, just doing different things to continue our company to develop these relationships with these type of people. So that's what I get from that. When it comes to the internet, search engine optimization, I work with an Indian guy, like one of those people from India who they work on our website constantly. They optimize it. They do all this back end stuff, and they send us reports. It's very inexpensive, and that's how we continue to get leads on. Get people to come to our website, and to rank on Google, but not necessarily just rank on Google, but also show up for certain search words, keywords.
Yep, I even got a guy, I believe he's in India, Pakistan. I'm starting with him next week. Got him on Upwork, and he even did that, and he was able to find me 30 keywords that my competitors use. So he's gonna start implementing that and fixing up my SEOs.
Also, how much is it gonna charge you a month?
Well, I told him 40 a month.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's a
Yeah,
good start. That's really good. So if you're comfortable with it, we're not, and that's the beauty of not being in the same state, right? You're more comfortable sharing information. Like if somebody was in your backyard, you wouldn't want to put it up there.
I
But
know, right?
if you don't mind, put his information in the group. But like I said, it's totally up to you.
Sure. All
Yeah,
right, yeah, I'll do
and
it
just kind of
definitely.
explain to what you had just said, so other people could benefit from that.
All right.
Um, and then another thing that I like to do is Google Ads and Google pay-per-click ads, but not Google as much as I like to do Facebook. I really like Facebook ads. For me, just in my experience, it's a lot of people who have done well with Google. Maybe I didn't give it enough time, or I haven't went deep enough with it and learned and studied enough. It just I don't get the results. Or maybe, and this might be the case as well. Facebook is so good that I pay so much more on Google that I don't feel like it's worth it to me to go on delete Facebook and go to Google because it just costs so much more. So that might be the thing too. So but definitely pay-per-click ads, but not for Google for me as much. Hold on one second. Man, I got these kids knocking on my door. Man, I forgot it was Halloween. I don't got no candy. I ain't got nothing for
What you can do
them.
is just put a for sale sign on your house, so they'll think your house is being for sale. No one's gonna stop at your house anymore.
Yeah, now they keep knocking. Well, I hope the word get around that I ain't got no candy. Um, and check the person media, track every. Oh, this is another one that's important. Another one is very important. And you may not think it's an issue, especially early on, because you're gonna be so sweaty, so thirsty for every call. But believe it or not, there are people who don't call every number that calls their business or don't follow up with them. And this is what this is just talking about. This graph shows the median revenue for those providers who track every inquiry about services versus those providers who do not track every inquiry about services. Believe it or not, people do not call everybody back. And the people who do obviously make a lot more money. So if you look at these people on the top in the blue, historically, they've made that much more than what they've made not calling. So it's just very important to see, and not only just follow, just not only following up. I mean, not only taking the call initially, but doing the follow-up calls. The follow-up calls are very important. Follow-up calls when you gonna make all the money. People call you the first time they call your company, they're probably not ready to close. They're just getting information. They just want information. They probably never used home care services before. They've never had a caregiver. They don't really understand nothing about it. They just know that mom fell or dad is sick. They can't be home. Dad is, has early stage dementia. Just think about it from your own personal perspective. And I know Don, you said you had experienced that with your family, so you know what it felt like. I don't know if you came from that world prior to, but if you didn't, you know what it felt like when you first had to go out here and do it.
Right.
And
I said, right, exactly.
So you had like all of these questions, right? But
right.
but you wasn't necessarily about to just get the first person you talk to the business.
No.
So it was about the person who gave you the best information, the person who was consistently following up with you, and the person who had quite frankly the best price. So
and then to your point too, what you were saying before about people coming back to you because it's about timing. Initially, people, it's your family, right? So you're thinking I should be doing it, and you do your best you can until you can't do enough anymore, and then you hire out. Now, some people hire out from the beginning either because they have the money or they just don't want to do it or whatever the case is. But oftentimes it's about timing. You want to find the right fit, but you have to be ready.
Absolutely. It's definitely about timing. And that's the point about being, making those follow-up calls.
Right.
I was working with one client and it's for coaching. And he had this whole data. He had all these people that called his number. And he's like, yeah, man, I got like, 90 some numbers, man. These are all people that called. I called them back. They said they wasn't ready. I said, what's and? I said, so what you? He said, oh, I haven't called it back. He said, when I called them, they didn't want to do nothing. So I just kept it moving. I'm like, man, are you crazy? He called back. He started calling all of them back. I was like, bro, you got to follow up. He probably closed like 4 or 5 clients like that next week just because he followed up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it just keeps going from there. You're supposed to hit them. They say most people don't respond. Most people don't do business with you until after the 6th to 7th touch, right? And the touch could be an email, a phone call, a visit, seeing your ad again. These are different touches, but for the most part, it's just a phone call. So I would suggest, and that kind of even goes against some of the training with Sandler. He says, don't spend too much time on people who don't seem to be serious. But in my personal experience, at least 6 to 7 times, give them a call, not back to back, obviously, every 2 to 3 weeks. Every 2 to 3 weeks. And this goes into what I don't know if we was on the phone Wednesday when we were talking about the CRM. And he said, how do I remember all of the, once the calls start coming in, how do I, remember to call these people? You could set like alerts in your CRM. Every time you talk to a person, you put them in your service, you put them in your CRM and you say, okay, follow up in 2 weeks, and you set the calendar, then you'll get a notification, or your assistant to get a notification to call this person on that specific day. And the notes of what the last conversation will be there, so they can know exactly where the conversation should be going. So that's how you do that. That's how you stay organized with it. Because I mean, it sounds daunting when you think about, like, man, I gotta call 100 people back every 3 weeks, every 21 days. Like when, what, how do I keep track of that? Because they all calling in different times. But like I said, a good CRM service. CRM means customer relationship management. A good customer relationship management service is what you want to have. So that's what I see when I see this, right? That's what this. So what I'm doing now is kind of just breaking down like what this stuff means to me. These graphs, this survey results. Okay, media sales conversion. Okay. This is just about the conversions, inquiries, assessment, admissions. Individuals who call in for service who provided some kind of contact information such as phone number, address, and email. That's an inquiry. Assessment is a formal meeting to discuss the need of the potential client and the business capabilities of meeting those needs. That's an assessment, and an admission, new client who. So this isn't really giving me any information that I need that I can kind of like use to see. But I mean, you could just tell you where you at. You know what I mean? Like based on how many calls you're getting, how many are converting. Basically, this is what's telling you. Media sales conversion. Yeah, and this is pretty much this is part of the same. This is just telling you where you at in your conversion rates, annual sales close conversion. Yeah. Top 5 growth opportunity for 2021. Caregiver recruitment and retention programs. So top growth opportunities. Having a caregiver recruitment and retention program. I feel like when I think about that, my only what I feel like was great for me outside of like just doing bonuses, just staying consistent on Indeed for recruitment, doing bonuses, have some type of appreciation program in place where they're getting like maybe caregiver monthly, caregiver caregiver of the month type program, bonuses, gift cards, gas program, like giving them gas if they go on a certain distance, like maybe gas cards and stuff like that. And then, but more importantly, continue education. So for me, ranking number one at caregiver recruitment, the most important thing for me, I would say, is caregiver on continue education. And who we deal with is the people who do this thing. They just bought In the Know. It's called In the Know training. It was a home care service training program that they bought, and now it's part of Home Care Pulse's business. But you can go there, sign up, and have your caregivers getting these online trainings through their continuing education program. We'll talk about that another time. But I feel like that's the most important part of caregiver retention. It's at number 2, strengthening strengthening relationships with referral sources. So this is the number 2 top growth opportunity for 2021. Strengthening relationships with referral sources. Very important. What does that look like? Just what we were discussing earlier. What Winston was discussing. He's going to be following up with the people that he met. He met some people who seemed really nice, really helpful. Obviously, you want to make sure that if they are helpful and they do provide you with leads, and it is possible, you want to definitely give them something in return, whatever that is. Based on what they've given you, that's for your decision. But you definitely want to let people know that they're appreciated, whether it's just a card, some type of gift basket, some cash, whatever. You know, you definitely want to strengthen these relationships with the people who are helping you out. Company expansion into new markets. 3, I would suggest that's very important. Man, hold on. I got locked. Man, this screen door, I'm gonna keep happening stuff. So you definitely want to be strengthening those relationships. So company expansion into new markets. A lot of people want to start when they want to kind of stay close to home. I wouldn't suggest going out too far unless it only depends on what your markets look like. If you you want to go to where the people can afford the services, right? And I know Winston was saying he's living like a rural area. So what's going to happen, Winston? You're going to have to eventually, obviously go into new markets, right? You can't just do it in your backyard. So you're going to have other markets, other upper middle class markets to promote your business. So that's definitely something you're going to constantly be thinking about as a growth opportunity. Increasing client referral by improving client satisfaction. Just like we were saying, as long as the families are happy, and you're asking for the referral, because families won't say nothing. Like they'll just be living their life. They're not really thinking about it. They got that problem solved. They're good. Mom's taking care of. They're going to work. They're living their life. They're not thinking about your business. They're not thinking about you getting more clients. So you have to ask, but they will be willing to help. But you have to say something, and that's the thing. And then company acquisitions. So maybe there's opportunity somewhere down the line where I know Dawn, she said she want to own multiple assisted livings. Maybe it may be better idea to buy an existing one than getting a home and then starting from scratch, in the future. Or even buying a home care service that maybe going out of business and stuff like that, opposed to, starting over or, expanding into a new market. It might be one in that market in a new market, maybe like another state or another city or another county that you can acquire, opposed to starting from scratch because they already have like the groundwork laid.
Okay.
Yeah. This thing is working, reacting weird. So those are just some of the top growth opportunities that you can kind of think about. Median client growth rates. The majority of providers in California reported zero.
Alan, quick question. Now,
Yeah,
any
go
of
ahead.
these data shows the average net profit for new home health companies? Like the percentage from gross to net. What is it, like 30%, 40% or so? I was reading
We'll
somewhere
see.
and it says,
I think that is here. I think that is
oh,
here.
okay.
So what we're looking at here is the median client cost of acquisition, which this is serious. Hold on, make sure I didn't pass nothing. 29. So what they're saying is it costs in the Pacific, which is California, Pacific, out west, $600 per client, 600 to 700 per client. And what does that mean? You should be expecting to pay at least $600, $700 to get a new client, whether that's in marketing, basically in marketing dollars. That's what you should be expecting to pay. And that's a really big number for in the beginning. But and it doesn't have to always be like that, but on average, you want to expect it to be paying somewhere close to these numbers. Me personally, so the beauty of developing these relationships, and like what Winston's doing, again, going back to what he's doing, because like I said, that's so important, and what he's doing, and it's so great right now at this early stage of his business that he's doing it. Um, those relationships don't require necessarily, it doesn't necessarily translate to dollars, right? It's more about time, um, relationship equity. Like you build a relationship with the people, opposed to paying somebody directly, like a place for mom, or a Google, paying on Google ads, or search engine optimization. Whereas, if you have somebody that want to do business with you, because they like you, and they're in the right position, they're a decision maker who can drive traffic directly to you, then these numbers aren't that important. But these numbers are important when you're just talking about direct marketing dollars, and sales dollars, and commissions, and stuff like that. So that's this is what it really relates to. How we can how we can, like, circumvent these numbers, or go around this stuff, is to build great relationships. When we do get our first couple clients, become, just have like very, very high level services, make sure they're very, very satisfied. That's something that is going to make you not have to pay what it's like you're not paying anything, right? Because you're already getting, the client is already yours. You're making money while you're making money. So do expect to spend money on marketing, especially in the beginning, and never slow down, because you always want to be in the space, in a space of growing. You never want to be like, oh, okay, I'm consistently getting referrals from other sources, so I'm gonna slow down my marketing. No, now you just kind of like focus, and kind of think about different places and points that you want to spend your money on. But other than that, you these are the actual numbers, right? So where I am, and I think me and Winston kind of fall under this northeast. I'm in Maryland, which is kind of like, yeah, it's still, I ain't gonna say it's northeast, but it's like they call it mid Atlantic.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 hours from where I am.
Yeah. So we're looking at 600 to 650 to 670. Great Lakes, where she is, that's Great Lakes is Chicago, right? Chicago, right? I mean, Illinois. Don?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in Illinois.
So you could think about the 500 to, so those numbers are a little different for you. So then you look at California, it's $700, it's almost $800 a lead. But then when you think about it, the money is so much better too. They make a lot of money on home care as well. So I'm gonna go through a couple more of these. We're already at 7. I don't want to keep y'all too late. Client acquisition costs for okay. He asked me about the this is retention and recruitment. Like, where do you find your caregivers? Internet, from current employees, social media, mycnajobs.com, word of mouth, your website, Craigslist, which is now Indeed. They didn't have Indeed going like this back then. Care.com, reactivation of previous employees, like bringing caregivers back on. These are just some caregiver stuff. And we can go back through this next week if y'all want.
So
Oh.
now, how would you find caregivers on care.com? Just post an ad that you need some caregivers, to take care of a parent or something, and
Yep,
people just apply?
that's it.
Okay. All right. I tried doing that, but then care.com wants me to pay a subscription fee. So I'm like, yeah, I'm too cheap for that.
Yeah, so but I mean, with Indeed, man, right now, what like things change, market change, companies go under, companies, get bought out. So right now, it's Indeed, right? So just get as many as you can off Indeed for free for now, and then until just milk that cow
Yeah.
till you can't.
Even yesterday, well, when I went to one of the facilities, the receptionist, she heard me talking to one of the employees there, and she's like, "Are you hiring? Because I'm looking to switch from being a receptionist to working as a
Yeah.
caregiver because I have my senior license. And she went on my website. She actually applied, and I was shocked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's all about getting out there. That's all it's about. You know what I mean? You'll be so surprised how much progress you can make just by, taking that first step. So these are the wages. This was back then. This is like totally crazy now. Totally different now, since COVID. This is what we were paying caregivers. These are different regions. Like the first one that was Pacific. This is Central. I was around when you could pay a caregiver $10 an hour, not $9. I never seen that. Great Lakes up there with in Chicago. I mean, your area, Detroit and all that. But again,
Does
we
it?
gotta take this with a grain of salt because this is pre-COVID.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Does it show the prices for Eastern?
Yeah, it's gonna show everything.
Oh, okay.
This is the South.
Oh, wow. South,
Then this is
Northeast.
yeah.
Okay. Yep. That's consistent with what I've been seeing on in.
Yeah, this isn't too far off.
Yeah, it's
Because I guess
not.
it's pulling back now. I mean in the 95, the 95th percentile. That's consistent with what we're dealing with now. Orientation training. This is basically like caregiver training. I don't think they give us that number, man. I don't remember that number being there. Like
So, quick question
mhm.
regarding the orientation. What kind of informations or yeah informations do you
Oh,
provide
fine, it might be here.
on orientation? That's been my biggest question. I have no idea.
I mean, you can just going over your company. I mean,
Oh,
your company culture, your expectations. You're getting to know the caregiver. You letting them know, what your policies and procedures are.
all right.
For
Now,
different situations, the employee handbook, stuff like that.
yeah. So now, since my business kind of being ran out of my home, I don't want to have many employees at my home. So for you, when you first started out, where did you hold your orientation? Was it at like a different spot or was it physically or
No, it
what?
was we rented a virtual office. So here go the revenue stuff here.
Okay.
We rented a virtual office. So what we did was we got a virtual office at a Regis, and um we got the virtual office for it was like $100 a month, and then we could rent the conference room out. So we would hold first thing we would do, we'll hold employee like group interviews. So we'll get all the, we'll have a date where people can come. Then we'll hold a group interview, have our handouts ready for them. So when they come in, they can fill out applications. They submit their all their documentation. They show it they give us back their resumes. They fill out all the paperwork, and that's the group interview. We'll show them. That's when we kind of explain who we are as a company, our expectations. Uh, get some background on who we are and what we're doing in the community, some of our goals and visions and the values and our kind of like our culture. And then that's one thing. That's one of the ways we use the hold on, did I go up? That was one of the ways that we use the the office, and it was only like $30 an hour or something like that. And then or then when we had the like the orientations, or when caregivers come and meet and do interviews, we'll do them there as well. For like their second interview, they'll be individual. We'll meet them in there as well. And then also the virtual offices provided us with like a single office, so we could use a conference room for multiple people, or we can rent out a single office for just one or two people, one person at a time. So instead of having them come to our property, our home, we would have them meet us there.
So the virtual office is a physical location.
Yeah.
It's not like a Zoom thing.
No. It's most. If you go to Regis, it's usually it's a physical location, but you can you get a PO box, you get a box number where you get a mailbox. It's not a PO box; it's a suite number. So you get an actual like business address, and then you'll get a they have different services, so they could offer you a phone number. The people can actually come there, drop stuff off. You'll get your mail there. Uh, you can rent the offices, the space. You could do meetings and stuff like that. I used to hold conferences there and everything.
Really? And it's Regis? I've never heard
So I used to
of
do it for my
Regis.
coaching and my home care stuff.
Right. Yeah, I've just never heard of Regis. I'm not familiar with what Regis is.
So it's just this is the number one virtual assistant. I mean virtual office place right now. So
Okay.
Alan,
yeah.
I'm familiar with Regis. My question is, what do you think about like that? I haven't needed that until, thinking about it with this business. What do you think about changing your business address midstream? Is that you think that that's a problem?
Nah, not if you got nobody coming there. I mean, who's going to affect at this point? It's still
Hmm.
early. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So business credit shouldn't be a problem with that.
Oh, nah, not really.
People move, right? Because people move, right? Businesses
Yeah,
move.
exactly. And it's not like that big of a deal at this early stage.
Okay. I've been working on business credit for a while,
Yeah, how
but
does it working out for you?
pretty good, pretty good. It's just, need to have revenue. That's the biggest piece.
Yeah, you had to
But
be in
everything,
business for a while. Yep.
yeah, I mean, yeah, the business itself has been in place for 5 years, but the actual working on the business credit is just been a year. And, so it's everything outside of revenue looks good. It's just, I have to have money coming in. So
Yeah.
I need to start. So.
Yo, Alan, believe it or not, on Regis, there is no locations available for where I am. I told you, man, I
But
live in the country.
what's the closest?
It's probably like 30 minutes out.
Is it the closest Regis?
So right now, I'm just trying to put in my city and surrounding cities, and nothing comes up. No locations is showing up.
Wow. Wow. So what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of here. What I'm gonna
Okay.
do is you just gotta find somebody. Man, what's the closest city to you? Hartford?
Yes, Hartford, and that's like 45 to an hour out.
Oh man, well that's right. We gotta go, bud. No, I'm just saying, bro. Nobody
Yeah.
told you to move into the farm, man. To
Hey
the
man,
farm.
look, I was trying to get some fresh eggs. That's why.
Yeah, well, now you gotta.
I know, right?
If you go let you go to the farming business, you're gonna have to rethink that. But what I'll do is I'll upload this case study. I mean this link onto the group, the private group. You can download it if you want. I mean, obviously it's old, but still I don't want you to share it with nobody. You know what I mean? Because like I said, Home Care Parcel was already mad at me because I shared it before. You know what I mean? Because I be talking to my group about it, and they're like, "Man, you can't. It's people gotta pay for that. You bought it. We appreciate that, but we don't want you sharing it with your members." So I'm gonna put it on a group. It's only 4 of us in there. Y'all can check it out, download it. Go through this stuff, personally, but just don't share it. That's all I ask. Um,
Definitely.
all right,
Yes, thank you.
all right. So I'm gone for the evening. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the groups. Register for a call. Don, you said you was gonna call. Did you ever register for a call?
No, I didn't. I am though.
Okay. Okay. I thought I missed you because I was actually looking to see was that you? Because I be missing them sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
Quick question,
Um,
Alan. So, do we have any homework or any readings for this week?
um,
Look at him,
have you
teacher's pet.
have you read
Nah.
the yeah teacher said. Have you read the 10X rule?
Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, what did you read? Did you read the 1 minute manager?
Yep, that was last week.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
okay, let me post it. I'll find something for you since I got my studious.
And I'm just, I'm into
Winston.
this, you know. I'm
I'm
just
glad,
into
man.
this.
I'm glad you're really taking it serious, man. I mean a lot to me, man. I mean I'm not wasting my time, man. So yeah,
That is Winston. Winston, that's great. I'm just messing with you.
yeah.
I know
So I'm
it's cool. Don't worry about it.
it's one on for week 4. You kind of cut the hell out. So I'll post something in the group for you. I'll put this in there and I'll put a good book for you to read this week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. And yeah, I'll see you guys on next Tuesday.
All right. Bye, guys.
And
Have a good week.
if you need me before then, just reach out.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.